Be prepared. We've just danced through one of the most pivotal, game-changing astrological moments of the entire year, that incredible super new moon solar eclipse. And right off the bat, before we dive deep, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me one word that describes how you've been feeling since that eclipse energy peaked. Curious, confused, energized, exhausted, lighter, heavier? Let me know right now. Let's create a collective energy check-in. Now, many beautiful souls might be thinking, okay, the eclipse happened, the peak is over, maybe things are settling back down now. And oh, my dear friends, while the absolute crescendo might have passed, let me tell you with love and absolute certainty, the real magic, the deep integration, the ripples of this transformation, they are only just beginning to truly unfold. You might sense a kind of quiet after the storm, but beneath that surface calm, the universe is still humming, still rearranging the energetic furniture of our lives. The profound effects of this cosmic reset are subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, weaving their way into our reality right now. And honestly, most people are walking around completely unaware of just how deeply this energy has already touched them, how it's setting the stage for what's coming next. Because here is the golden truth, the absolute core of what we need to understand today in this precious, potent now moment. What you do today, how you navigate this lingering, powerful energy, matters immensely. Yes, you are absolutely feeling the echoes, the resonance of that eclipse. It's not like flicking a switch and it's gone. Think of it like a massive bell being struck. The initial sound is loudest, but the vibrations continue to resonate long after, shaping the silence that follows. And your actions, your choices, your focus today can either harmonize with these beautiful, transformative vibrations, smoothing the path for your manifestations and growth. Or, if we're not mindful, they could inadvertently create static, disrupt the flow, block those blessings that are trying to reach you, or even amplify any lingering chaotic energy, causing unnecessary bumps in the road for weeks, even months to come. So, it is absolutely vital, my friends, that we become conscious navigators of this sacred space. We need to be aware, with gentle intention, of certain energetic pitfalls or patterns that might not serve our highest good right now. And please understand, this wasn't just any eclipse drifting by on the cosmic calendar. No. This was a super new moon solar eclipse. That combination is like cosmic dynamite wrapped in velvet. It's rare, it's potent, and it does so much more than just mark a turning point. This kind of celestial event acts like a divine Control-Alt-Delete for our entire energetic system. It doesn't just nudge us onto a new path, it has the power to completely reset everything. We're talking about your personal energy field, your life's trajectory, the very frequency you're broadcasting, and, consequently, the way the universe perceives and responds to that frequency. It's a fundamental recalibration. So if you've been feeling, well, a bit off today, like the world is tilted slightly on its axis, maybe things just don't feel quite normal, like you woke up in a familiar room, but the vibe is completely different, stay with me, beautiful soul, because there is a very specific, very profound reason this might be happening for so many of us right now. And I promise we will explore that feeling deeper in just a moment. But first, there's something incredibly important, almost urgent, that we need to bring into the light. Because there's one particular action, one common spiritual practice that if you happen to engage in it today with a certain intensity, you might have inadvertently created a little energetic tangle for yourself. Don't worry, Nothing is ever truly sabotaged beyond repair in the loving eyes of the universe. But let's understand the dynamics at play. If the very first thing you did today, perhaps waking up with excitement from the eclipse energy, was to sit down and set massive, detailed, brand new intentions for the next cycle, you might have just sent those beautiful intentions into a bit of a cosmic whirlwind. I know, it sounds counterintuitive, right? We talk all the time here at the Inner Secrets about the power of new moons for manifestation, for planting those seeds of desire. And usually, that is absolutely the perfect time. But this specific eclipse energy is different. Think of it this way. This eclipse didn't just wipe the slate clean, it was more like it blasted the entire chalkboard off the wall. It created a temporary, highly charged, almost energetic void or vortex. In this kind of potent, unsettled space, intentions don't gently settle and take root like they usually do. They can get caught in the swirling energy, almost like throwing seeds into a tornado. They might get scrambled, twisted, or rerouted in ways you absolutely did not anticipate. This means those big, ambitious intentions you set with such fervor today might not manifest in the clear, linear way you envisioned. They might face unexpected delays, take bizarre detours, or morph into something completely unrecognizable. Now please hear me clearly. If you did set some intentions or do some manifestation work today, do not panic. You haven't messed up your life or angered the cosmos. The universe is infinitely forgiving and adaptable. But here's the wisdom we need to integrate. Eclipse energy, especially solar eclipse energy, is inherently unpredictable. It's wild, potent, and designed to shake things up, to break old patterns, not necessarily to neatly launch brand new, rigidly defined plans. So the bigger and more specific the manifestation you aimed for today, the higher the likelihood that it will encounter these energetic twists and turns. If you kept your intentions small, simple, flexible, perhaps focusing on releasing the old or welcoming general well-being, you are absolutely golden. You flowed beautifully with the clearing energy, but if you went for that huge promotion, that specific soulmate, that exact lottery win today, just cultivate an attitude of radical openness and trust. Be prepared for the universe to deliver your desire, or the essence of your desire, in a package that looks entirely different from the one you ordered. It can still come, absolutely, but likely not via the direct, mapped-out route you envisioned. This isn't some newfangled idea, my friends. Ancient wisdom traditions across the globe understood the unique power and unpredictability of eclipses. Many cultures viewed eclipse time not as a moment for actively calling in the new, but as a sacred pause, a time for introspection, for cleansing, for clearing out the old energetic debris to make space for whatever the universe intended to bring forth after the energies settled. It wasn't about believing in lack or fearing the future, it was about profound alignment. It was recognizing that sometimes the most powerful preparation for the next chapter involves stepping back, honoring the cosmic reset, and allowing the powerful energies to integrate before we start actively building again. It's like letting the soil rest and regenerate after a massive storm before planting delicate new seeds. And speaking of alignment and creating space, let's talk about your immediate environment. Because the physical and energetic space you immerse yourself in today, and in the immediate aftermath of such a potent eclipse, holds more significance than you might realize. Today, beautiful souls, is likely not the day to deliberately plunge yourself into loud, chaotic, or energetically dense environments if you can possibly avoid it. Think crowded shopping malls, intense concerts, highly stressful workplaces, or even large family gatherings filled with unresolved tension. Have you been feeling unusually sensitive, easily overwhelmed, maybe strangely irritable or emotionally fragile for no apparent reason? There's a very real energetic explanation for this. Eclipse energy doesn't just affect us individually. It acts like a giant cosmic amplifier, magnifying everything around us. Imagine the collective energy field. Now picture this eclipse energy turning up the volume dial way up, every emotion floating around, the anxiety of the person next to you in line, the frustration of the driver in traffic, the collective stress, all of it gets amplified. Every thought form, every vibration, especially in a crowded space, is heightened. These energies start bouncing off each other, creating a kind of invisible, chaotic static. It's more than just auditory noise. Some sensitives might even perceive it as a form of psychic crossfire. Think about it like this. An eclipse initiates a powerful energetic reset for you. But when you're surrounded by a dense concentration of other people, especially if they are unaware or are processing their own eclipse-stirred emotions, their frequencies inevitably mingle with yours. Every single person carries their own unique energetic signature, their hopes, their fears, their joys, their unresolved traumas, their conscious and unconscious beliefs. When you step into a crowded place during this sensitive post-eclipse period, you're essentially walking into an energetic soup. You can unconsciously absorb these amplified energies like a sponge. Have you ever walked into a room feeling perfectly fine, even cheerful, and then left feeling inexplicably drained, anxious, heavy, or even angry without anything specific happening to you? That is often energetic absorption at play, and it's significantly heightened right now. It's not just a coincidence. It's physics on an energetic level. And this energetic chaos does more than just affect your mood. It can seriously cloud your precious intuition. Your inner guidance system, that quiet voice of wisdom within, relies on clarity. If you are constantly being bombarded by and unconsciously processing the energetic noise and emotional frequencies of everyone around you, how can you possibly discern your own inner truth? How can you hear the subtle whispers of your soul guiding you forward when the psychic airwaves are jammed with static? So, what's the antidote, my friends? It's beautifully simple, yet profoundly effective. If you have the choice today, gift yourself the sanctuary of solitude, even for short periods. Allow your own energy field to settle and recalibrate without external interference. And even better, step outside. Connect with Mama Gaia. Nature isn't just visually calming, it is a master energetic cleanser and harmonizer. Go stand barefoot on the grass or soil, weather permitting of course. This is called grounding or earthing, and it literally helps discharge excess or foreign energy and recalibrate your system to the Earth's natural frequency. Feel the breeze on your skin, listen to the birdsong, touch a tree. Let the inherent harmony and resilience of the natural world soothe your spirit and clear your energetic field. Because right now, beautiful souls, clarity is your superpower. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's essential for navigating this transformative time with grace. And if it's not just the external world that feels loud, but your own mind feels like a chaotic whirlwind of thoughts, racing in circles, demanding answers, please hear this. It's likely not because you genuinely need more external answers right now. It might be because you need more internal silence. The universe, through this powerful eclipse, has already spoken. It delivered its message, initiated its reset. The real question now is, are you subtly pretending you didn't hear it? Let's be truly honest with ourselves just for a moment in this safe space. You've likely already seen the signs, haven't you? That recurring pattern, that persistent feeling, that intuitive nudge you keep trying to ignore. You felt the whisper in your heart, maybe even received a message so clear, so undeniable, it felt like a cosmic billboard flashing right in front of you. And yet, perhaps a part of you is still asking for more. More proof, more confirmation, one more sign before you fully trust what you already, deep down, know. Eclipses, especially solar eclipses that reset beginnings, don't typically arrive bearing brand new complex information. Their primary function is often revelation. They shine a powerful light on what was already present, but perhaps hidden in the shadows. Shadows of denial, fear, or comfortable illusion. They bring the truth, your truth, bubbling up to the surface where it can no longer be ignored. And right now, one of the biggest spiritual traps we can fall into is convincing ourselves we need just one more sign, one more piece of external validation, when the deep, resonant knowing is already settled within our bones. Think about it. How many times has that same insight crossed your mind? How often has that same type of situation repeated itself, trying to get your attention? How frequently do you catch yourself bargaining with the universe? Okay, just show me this specific thing, and then I'll finally take action, make the change, trust the path. Here's a profound truth that might feel a little uncomfortable, but it's offered with love. If you keep relentlessly asking for the same answer you've already received, the universe might appear to stop answering. Not because it has abandoned you, never, but because it respects your free will and recognizes that the lesson is no longer about receiving the information. It has already delivered the message multiple times in multiple ways. The lesson now shifts. It's no longer about seeking external proof. It's about accepting the inner knowing you already possess. It's about trusting yourself. So, today, this post-eclipse integration period is not primarily a day for looking outward for confirmation, for polling your friends, for desperately seeking another tarot reading to tell you what your soul already whispered. It's a day to turn inward, to sit quietly with the truth that has surfaced, to acknowledge what you already know, and then, the crucial part, to begin contemplating, with courage and self-compassion, what you are going to do about it. What choices align with this deeper knowing? And if acknowledging that truth feels uncomfortable, if it brings up resistance, fear, or uncertainty, good. Honestly, that's often a powerful indicator that the message was real, that it struck a chord of authentic truth deep within you. Transformation isn't always meant to feel cozy and familiar. Sometimes it requires us to sit with the discomfort of releasing the old before we can fully embrace the new. Now let's talk about relationships and how this potent energy affects those around us, because this is another area where missteps can easily happen, even with the best intentions. You might have already noticed it, haven't you? People acting, well, a bit strange, more reactive than usual, emotions running incredibly high. Perhaps friends, family members, or colleagues suddenly seem overwhelmed by frustration, inexplicable sadness, deep confusion, or even outbursts of anger that seem disproportionate to the situation. Eclipses, my friends, have a way of shaking people right down to their core foundations. They act like an energetic earthquake, rattling loose everything that's been buried. Suppressed emotions surge to the surface. Uncomfortable truths demand confrontation. Hidden patterns are exposed. Eclipses can trigger profound awakenings, absolutely, but let's be real. Awakenings aren't always serene moments of bliss under a Bodhi tree. Often, they are messy, disruptive, and involve a period of breakdown before the breakthrough can occur. And here is where the loving, well-intentioned mistake often happens. We see someone we care about struggling in the midst of this eclipse-stirred storm, and our immediate instinct is to jump in and try to save them. I understand this impulse completely. It comes from a place of love, of deep caring. You want to help ease their pain. You want to fix their problems. Maybe from your perspective, you can see exactly what they need to do, the precise pattern that's holding them back, the clear solution to their struggle. But here is the crucial, potentially challenging wisdom we must embrace. This isn't your transformation to manage, it's theirs. When a powerful cosmic event like this eclipse occurs, every single soul receives its own unique, energetic download, its own personalized curriculum for growth. Everyone gets their own lessons illuminated, their own shadows brought to light, their own opportunities for healing and evolution presented. Some people, when faced with this intensity, will resist it fiercely. They'll cling tighter to the old ways, deny the truth, project their discomfort onto others. Some might spiral into confusion or fear. Some will inevitably experience a breakdown, a necessary dismantling of old structures, before they can rebuild and break through to a new level of awareness. But here's the key. If you step in too soon, if you try to shield them from their discomfort, if you attempt to pull them out of their storm prematurely, you might inadvertently be robbing them of the very breakthrough their soul orchestrated for them. You might be preventing them from learning the lesson they are meant to integrate through their own direct experience. Think of it like a butterfly struggling to emerge from its chrysalis. If you try to help by cutting it open, the butterfly's wings won't develop the strength they need to fly. It needs the struggle to build resilience. Similarly, not every person who appears to be drowning in emotional turmoil during this time needs an immediate external rescue. Some souls are learning how to swim, how to navigate their own inner depths, how to find their own strength amidst the waves. This absolutely does not mean you should be cold, distant, or dismissive of their pain. Not at all. Compassion is always key, but it means redefining your role during this sensitive period. Your primary job today, and in the coming days, might not be to be their healer, their fixer, or their rescuer. Your most powerful contribution might be to simply hold space. What does that mean? It means being fully present with them without judgment. It means listening deeply, not to offer solutions, but simply to understand and validate their experience. It means offering a calm, stable, loving presence that allows them to feel safe enough to navigate their own process without interference. It's about trusting their soul's journey, even when it looks messy from the outside. Because when the energetic dust eventually settles, the people who are truly meant to rise, who are ready to integrate these powerful lessons, will find their own way. They will emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned, having navigated their own storm. Your loving, non-interfering presence can be the anchor they need, without you needing to steer their ship. Okay, let's shift the focus back inward, to our own personal practices. Because another fascinating phenomenon many experience during these potent eclipse aftermaths is finding that the spiritual tools, the grounding techniques, the rituals that usually work wonders, suddenly feel flat, ineffective, or even counterproductive. Does this resonate? Maybe you tried your usual grounding meditation this morning, visualizing roots growing deep into the earth, but instead of feeling centered and stable, you felt even more restless, agitated, or spacey. Perhaps you lit your favorite candle, repeated your go-to affirmations, spoke words that usually fill you with power and peace, but today they felt strangely hollow, like empty echoes in the room. Maybe you attempted to journal out your feelings, but instead of clarity, the page just became a tangled mess of confusion. Or you tried to meditate for peace, but your mind felt louder and more chaotic than ever before. Why? Why does this happen? Why do the very things that have consistently helped us feel connected, centered, and clear suddenly seem completely useless, or even make things feel worse? Because, beautiful souls, today, the usual rules might not apply. This eclipse energy, as we've discussed, is a profound energy disruptor. It's a cosmic wildcard, a sacred interruption designed to shake us out of our comfortable patterns, especially the ones we rely on perhaps a little too heavily for comfort and control. If you've been using the exact same spiritual tools, the same grounding techniques, the same coping mechanisms, the same daily rituals for a very long time, without much evolution or adaptation, today might just be the day the universe lovingly says, "Okay, that served you beautifully, but it's time for an upgrade." These tools might temporarily stop working, not because you are broken, or because you're doing something wrong, or because the tools themselves have lost their power. It's often because you are evolving beyond the frequency they were designed to support. Imagine a snake preparing to shed its old, tight skin. It's a natural, necessary process for growth. But what if the snake, out of fear or attachment to the familiar, desperately tried to cling to those old constricting layers? It would be incredibly uncomfortable, hinder its movement, and ultimately prevent its growth. That's analogous to what can happen energetically when we rigidly cling to spiritual practices or coping mechanisms that no longer resonate with the person we are becoming. This eclipse energy is helping us strip away what's outdated, what's no longer serving our highest evolutionary path. And sometimes that includes the very ways we've learned to soothe ourselves, to find clarity, or to connect with the divine. I know this can feel deeply disorienting, even frightening. If the things that used to bring you immediate clarity now seem to muddy the waters further, if the routines that once made you feel safe and anchored now feel strangely suffocating or limiting, if your go-to spiritual practices feel disconnected, flat, or simply off today, please do not interpret this as personal failure. It is not a sign that you've lost your connection or that something is wrong with you. It is, more often than not, a powerful sign of growth. It's a signal that your soul is gently, or perhaps not so gently, asking for something new, something different, something more aligned with your expanding consciousness. So, what do you do when your trusty toolkit seems empty? The first step is beautifully simple. Stop forcing it. If meditation isn't quieting your mind today, don't fight it. Maybe, just maybe, your mind is loud because it holds a message you're meant to listen to rather than silence. Perhaps the chaotic thoughts contain the seeds of a breakthrough, and trying to suppress them is counterproductive right now. If journaling only seems to amplify the confusion, perhaps it's time to step away from analyzing your thoughts and drop into the wisdom of your body instead. Go for a walk, stretch, dance, take a bath. Sometimes shifting the energy physically is more effective than trying to mentally figure things out, especially in this energy. And if nothing you try seems to be helping in the way it usually does, consider this radical possibility. Maybe, just maybe, You're not supposed to be actively helping or fixing yourself in this exact moment. Maybe the wisest course of action is to simply be with what is, to allow the discomfort, to witness the breakdown of the old without needing to immediately rush in with a new solution. Maybe you are simply supposed to be present with the process, listening deeply to what parts of you are breaking away, what illusions are dissolving, what old identities are ready to be lovingly released. You are not losing yourself, beautiful soul. You are losing the version of you, the energetic layers, the outdated beliefs that are ready to be lovingly left behind to make space for the more authentic, more expanded you that is emerging. So, if today feels profoundly different, if your usual anchors aren't holding, don't panic. Don't fight the current. Gently, courageously, let it happen. Trust the process, because when this potent eclipse energy fully integrates, what remains, what feels solid and true again, will be precisely the core essence, the authentic foundation that you were always meant to keep and build upon. Now, let's address another common pitfall in this social media age, especially after major cosmic events: the comparison trap. No two souls walk the exact same path, do they? We each have our unique, energetic blueprint, our specific soul lessons, our individual timing. So why on earth would we expect our personal transformation, our experience of this potent eclipse energy, to look identical to anyone else's? You might be scrolling through your feeds, watching videos, listening to podcasts, hearing other spiritual seekers talk about how this eclipse completely rocked their world. Some might be sharing stories of massive, earth-shattering realizations that hit them like lightning bolts. Others might be claiming to have witnessed extraordinary divine signs, experienced profound, mystical visions, or received crystal-clear guidance. And still others might be navigating complete and utter life upheaval, job losses, relationship endings, sudden moves, feeling like their entire reality got turned upside down overnight. And then there's you. Maybe you read all that and think, well, that didn't happen to me. Maybe you don't feel anything dramatic at all. Perhaps today just feels a bit quiet, a bit fuzzy, subtly off, but nothing remotely life-shattering occurred. No lightning bolts, no angelic choirs, no major breakdowns, and then that sneaky little voice of doubt can creep in, can't it? Am I missing something? Did the eclipse skip me? Did I do something wrong? Shouldn't I be feeling more? Everyone else seems to be having profound experiences. Stop. Please, right now, take a breath and gently release that thought. Not every shift announces itself with trumpets and fireworks. Not every profound breakthrough arrives wrapped in dramatic, neon-lit packaging. Some cosmic shifts manifest as sudden earthquakes, seemingly leveling your entire life overnight to force a necessary rebuild. Absolutely. But many other transformations, equally powerful and profound, arrive as whispers, as subtle shifts in perception, as a quiet, unshakable inner knowing that something deep within you has fundamentally changed, even if you can't quite articulate it yet, as a gentle dissolving of an old fear you didn't even realize was gone until later, as a seed of new potential planted deep in the soil of your subconscious, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. But comparison, my friends, that is the insidious trap. That is where we give away our power. The mistake isn't in how you are experiencing or not experiencing the immediate overt effects of this eclipse. The mistake lies in looking at someone else's highlight reel, at their unique soul journey, and assuming that yours is somehow supposed to mirror theirs, or that your experience is less valid or less significant. if it doesn't. This potent eclipse energy moves differently through every single unique energy field. Some souls are wired to feel the full intensity of the energetic download crashing down all at once. The sensitives, the empaths, those whose soul contracts involved dramatic shifts right now. Others, perhaps those who have been doing steady inner work for a long time, or whose current path requires a more gradual integration, won't fully process or consciously recognize the depth of what has shifted for weeks, maybe even months to come. The changes are happening on deep, subtle, energetic levels first. And here's a secret the universe loves. Often, the most powerful, lasting transformations occur in the silence, beneath the surface, away from the noise and drama. The seed of potential that was planted within you during this eclipse may not visibly bloom until much later, when the timing is divinely perfect for its emergence. And that is absolutely perfectly okay. Just because you can't see the tectonic plates shifting deep within your psyche doesn't mean the transformation isn't happening. The eclipse energy did not forget you. It did not skip over you. Your unique transformation is unfolding in precise alignment with your soul's blueprint at the perfect pace for you. So I implore you, beautiful soul, let go of the need for external proof. Release the tendency to measure your inner experience against the outward appearance of someone else's journey. Stop grading your spiritual growth based on dramatic anecdotes. The changes are happening, whether you consciously recognize them in this exact moment or not. Trust the process. Trust your unique timing. And when the time is right, when those deeper shifts begin to ripple outwards into your tangible reality, you won't need to ask yourself or anyone else if you've changed. You won't need external validation. You will simply know. You'll feel it in your bones, in your choices, in the way you navigate the world. Now, remember earlier I mentioned there was a specific reason why so many of us might be feeling distinctly off or strange right now. Let's dive into that, because understanding this can bring immense relief and perspective. If you've been feeling disconnected, unusually restless, fuzzy-headed, or even like you've somehow stepped into a slightly altered version of reality since the eclipse, you are absolutely not imagining it. It's not just tiredness or stress, though those can play a part. Something feels fundamentally different, doesn't it? Maybe the quality of the air seems different. The energy signature of your home feels altered. Perhaps time itself feels like it's stretching or contracting in weird ways. It can feel as if the very fabric of reality is subtly shimmering, shifting, and you can sense it right down in your cells, in your bones. Perhaps you woke up feeling unusually heavy, as if gravity suddenly increased its pull just for you. Or maybe you feel the complete opposite, untethered, floaty, spacey, like nothing feels entirely solid or real around you. Conversations might feel distant, like you're watching them happen from behind a veil. Familiar places, your home, your street, your workplace, might suddenly seem strangely foreign, like you're seeing them for the first time or through a different lens. And maybe underneath it all, you just can't shake this persistent, slightly eerie sense that something fundamental just changed, even if you can't logically pinpoint what it is. That's because, my friends, it did. As we've said, this super new moon solar eclipse wasn't just a pretty light show in the sky. On an energetic level, it acted as a profound reset button, a significant disruption in the energetic matrix, the very fabric of the reality you had become accustomed to. It has the power to temporarily mess with our perception, stir up deep-seated emotions, and even affect the way our physical bodies feel and process energy. Imagine it like a momentary glitch in the Matrix, a cosmic system update. The old reality, the old operating system, begins to flicker and fade out before the new, upgraded reality fully locks into place and stabilizes. And we, as sensitive, energetic beings, are consciously or unconsciously experiencing that transition phase. Right now, your conscious mind, which loves certainty and familiarity, might be scrambling desperately to find something solid, something normal to hold on to amidst this energetic flux. But here's the liberating truth. Today isn't about desperately trying to cling to your normal self. It's about consciously navigating the birth canal into the next, evolved version of you, a version that perhaps doesn't fully exist in manifested form yet. And that process of becoming, of being fundamentally recalibrated, is inherently disorienting. It's supposed to feel different. You might find yourself feeling completely unmotivated, unable to focus on mundane tasks, or weirdly indifferent to things that used to consume your attention just last week. Or conversely, you might experience sudden, unexpected surges of intense energy, bursts of creative inspiration hitting you out of the blue, a feeling like something powerful inside you is waking up. And then, just as quickly as it arrives, that energy might shift again, leaving you feeling depleted or confused. Please understand, this isn't necessarily traditional mood swings, clinical anxiety, or a sign that you're losing your mind. Though, if you have ongoing mental health concerns, always seek professional support. More often than not, in this specific post-eclipse context, it is your entire energy system recalibrating. You are undergoing a profound internal upgrade. So, if you feel off, take heart. You are not off track. You are in transition. You are courageously standing in the liminal space, the sacred pause between what was and what is yet to be. Honor the strangeness. Be gentle with yourself. You are aligning with a massive transformation. Now, perhaps you're listening to this and thinking, actually, I feel pretty good today. Maybe even lighter, clearer, like a weight has finally lifted after the intensity of the eclipse. I feel like I made it through the storm. And that is wonderful. Celebrate that feeling of relief and clarity. But, and this is said with gentle love and foresight, eclipses don't just switch off. Their effects echo. The integration period continues. And feeling good right now doesn't necessarily mean the journey is complete. In many ways, this feeling of clarity marks the beginning of the real test. The universe, having initiated this powerful reset, isn't just interested in how you feel in the immediate aftermath. It's now watching, with loving attention, what you will do with this newfound clarity, this upgraded energy. Specifically, it's observing how you'll respond when the inevitable echoes of the old patterns, the old triggers, come knocking at your door again. Because trust me, they likely will, perhaps in more subtle ways, to see if the change has truly integrated. That person you swore you'd set boundaries with, that limiting belief you thought you'd finally conquered, that old emotional wound you were certain had healed, that comfortable but unhealthy habit that quietly waits in the wings for a moment of vulnerability. They might just reappear, testing the solidity of your transformation. The question the universe is gently posing now is simple, yet profound. Have you actually changed on a core level? Or are you just hoping you have, riding the temporary wave of post-eclipse clarity? Because the moment will come, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, where you will be presented with a clear choice point. A situation will arise that mirrors an old challenge. And in that moment, you will have to consciously choose. Will you reactively fall back into the familiar groove of who you were? Or will you intentionally, courageously respond from the elevated space of who you are becoming? Will you uphold the new boundary? Will you choose the empowering belief? Will you soothe the old wound with compassion instead of reactivity? Will you choose the healthier habit? This, beautiful souls, is where the real magic of integration happens. It's in these conscious choices, moment by moment, that we truly anchor the transformative power of the eclipse into our lives. Wow, what a journey through these potent energies. Thank you, thank you, thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for being here, for sharing this space, for doing this courageous inner work alongside me here at the Inner Secrets. Remember, navigating these cosmic currents isn't about perfection. It's about conscious awareness, self-compassion, and choosing alignment again and again. If this message resonated with you today, if it brought some clarity or comfort, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It truly helps get this energy out to more souls who might need it. And if you haven't already, I would be so honored if you'd subscribe to the Inner Secrets and hit that notification bell so you never miss these deep dives into the energies shaping our lives. And please, share this video with any friends or loved ones, especially those you know are sensitive to energy, who might be feeling a bit lost or confused right now. Let's support each other through this collective transformation. Most importantly, keep checking in with those comments below. I love reading your experiences and insights. Let's finalize our check-in. If you are ready to consciously navigate this integration period, to embody the changes, and step fully into the next version of you, type with conviction. I am integrating with grace. Until next time, my beautiful friends, trust your inner knowing, be incredibly gentle with yourselves, and remember the universe is always conspiring in your favor, even when things feel strange. Keep shining your unique light. So much love to you all.